Hello there, and welcome to The Practical Leader. My name is Kevin Reynolds, and on behalf of my colleague Brent Conkle, I'm delighted to welcome you to this online leadership self-development program, which is designed to give you ideas, techniques, and tools to help you to be a more inspiring and effective leader, whatever position you have in your organization. Now, Brent and I are both based here in Tokyo in Japan, and for the past 20 years or so, we've been working with American, European, and Asian multinationals to help them to develop their leadership capabilities as well as their organizational capabilities. Now, I did that as an HR director, and Brent is still doing that as an executive coach. So Brent and I, we sort of pulled our ideas together and assembled our know-how into this program, which we believe will really help you to develop your own individual leadership skills, but also the leadership skills of the organization that you run if you are perhaps the leader of a division or the leader of an entire organization. And we really believe that by the end of this program, you'll walk out of here, so to speak, with an action plan that says, this is where you are with your leadership capabilities today. These are your challenges, these are your goals, and how you're going to get there. All right, so let's keep going. So what do we think about leadership itself? Well, we believe that leadership is everyone's business. Now, what does that mean? It means it doesn't matter whether you're the big boss of a department or a team leader on a small project. All of us, at every level in the organization, we all need to know how to become a more effective leader. That's a leader of ourselves and a leader of the people around us. And leadership itself is not about position, it's not about power or job title or sort of being a hero. It's about credibility, it's about relationships, and it's about what you do. So this Practical Leader program will help you to become a more effective leader through this idea, through this concept of integrated leadership. Now, you might have heard about this kind of thing before, but let's just take a quick look at what it means. So integrated leadership is this sort of combination, this integration of self-leadership, business leadership, and people leadership. And the goal or the outcome, the desired outcome, is to create a highly engaged and high-performing organization that creates or delivers, extraordinary results. So this course itself is structured into 4 main modules, and there are subtopics within each module, and there are downloadable resources too. So the first module is the overview, and the overview really talks about the sort of fundamental leadership goals. It talks about, or rather we go through an organizational assessment, which allows you to sort of take a look at the organization where you work and do a very high level assessment of the leadership capabilities in that organization. We look at a case study, which is a true case study of some work that Brent and I did with a multinational based here in Japan, actually. Then we give a sort of highlight overview of what business and people leadership is all about, and we finish up with you having a go at your own leadership self-assessment, which, as I mentioned before, will sort of tell you where you are as a leader now and where you would like to be. Okay, well, as I mentioned, the integrated leadership is all about self, business, and people leadership. So those are the other 3 main modules. So the first module, self-leadership, starts with looking at, are you highly engaged in your role? How about, do you have a high level of self-awareness of your own leadership capabilities? How to be a values role model, and how to kind of have your own clear sense of purpose. And at the end of all this, you'll sort of create your own clear, we hope, philosophy of leadership. So having looked at yourself, we then look at leading the business. So business leadership starts off with ensuring that everyone understands what the vision is, both your vision and the organizational vision, and then connecting everyone to that vision and to the organizational strategy. And then we move on to how to build a strong organization, where we look at sort of key people, key positions, and developing the key capabilities that your organization needs to be successful. And after that, we're going to look at ensuring a sense of urgency, which is sort of making sure that people are working on the right thing at the right time and trying to get the right result. And finally, we'll talk about how to hold regular performance discussions. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover in business leadership. And now in people leadership, it's all about creating a high trust environment, encouraging and empowering other people through delegation, discussing individual career development, the people who report to you. Then we're going to spend some time on coaching others, giving feedback and coaching others. And we'll be using the GROW method of coaching. Now, you might be familiar with that, but if not, you will be, I hope, by the end of that particular segment. And then finally, we're going to talk about creating high-performing teams. So those are the 4 modules, but each module is supported by resources. There's actually 60 pages of downloadable PDF resources covering self-assessments, team building tools, organizational assessment tools, and so on, all designed to give you something that you can do immediately and have a reference to as soon as you finish that segment of the program. And of course, you can use it straight after the program, but you can continue to use it as your leadership career develops. All right, so that's it. Let's get moving. So head over to the overview, and we look forward to seeing you there, where we'll talk about what integrated leadership is and how it can help you to begin to become a more inspirational and effective leader. See you soon.